All right, so with the ICC T20 World Cup scheduled to be held in the West Indies and the United States from June 1 to 29, cricket fans across the region are eagerly anticipating the start of what promises to be a memorable tournament. So CVMTV will have live coverage of all three T20 internationals, with all matches set to bowl off starting at 2 p.m. tomorrow. So joining us in studio to dissect it all is our very own sportscaster and journalist Orville Higgins, who was very afraid for me to bowl him out this morning, and regional commentator and analyst Nikhil, Uttamchandani, who never want me to lick him for 4. So Orville, I'm going to head on over to you because I know you have this covered and they're scared of me. I'm joking now.
All right, thank you again, Dave, very much, and thanks for you for joining us. Yeah, the World Cup fever is on. June 1 is when we start the World Cup tournament right here in the West Indies. South Africa, they are already here for some practice games against the West Indies starting tomorrow, Thursday, yeah, and then Saturday, Sunday, there will be 2 more practice games. None of the official games are in Jamaica, but we'll make do with some practice games, which will be right here on CVMTV. There you have it, the first one tomorrow, and then Saturday and Sunday. Now, here to talk to us about all this is Nikhil Uttamchandani, a regional commentator, proper analyst, and we will, just look at the entire thing. We don't have long, and there's so many things to cover, Nikhil. Readiness for the tournament, the West Indies as a whole. You are a Caribbean man, true and true. Are we ready for the World Cup?
Yeah, I think one of the most ready teams, to be honest, Orville. When you look at the last 2 years, this group, this core, this nucleus have been together. It's been something that Darren Sammy has harped on. Retaining that group of players, I would say 7 or 8 of them have played every game in the last 2 years, and we've done well at home. So when I look at that perspective, also I think this series, with these 3 games against a very quality opposition in South Africa, I think is important for further preparation, but I think the majority of the work has been done over the last 2 years.
Jamaica will not host a game in the official World Cup. Yes, we have the practice games. As a regional commentator, is that disappointing for you?
Yeah, for me, especially when I look at the rich culture and what Jamaica have produced. You think about Raw, Gale, Michael Holding, Walsh. It was shocking to me that they didn't have any games, especially when I talked to some of the locals here, being here, and they are kind of sad and disappointed that there's no cricket. But look, I think it's fantastic you can have these quality teams battling in these 3 games coming up, and I think they're at great times as well. Thursday is the holiday, Saturday and Sunday is the weekend, so I would implore the people to sort of just come out and support, because it makes a huge difference, and also there are a few Jamaicans in the West Indies team currently at the moment. Yeah,
well, the captain is Jamaican, Rovman Powell. How important will these 3 games against South Africa be? Will the team show us something? Is it that we can look at these 3 warm-up games and get some kind of indication as to how well we do?
No, very important. I'll say there are a few things to watch out for. One is that the West Indies haven't named any reserves, and we know in the nature of the cricket world there's injuries, and also it's a very intense World Cup. Things happen. So for a lot of those guys, I think there'll be a chip on their shoulder to sort of prove themselves to the selectors. But also I think for a few of the other guys, maybe like a Shamar Joseph or Roston Chase, who haven't played a lot of T20 cricket, now they'll have a greater responsibility. So it's a huge opportunity for them to sort of get some cricket under their belt so close to the tournament. It's these 3 games, a warm-up game against Australia, and then bam, you're straight in. Straight in.
The West Indies squad was pretty straightforward. I don't think that there were any major surprises. 1 or 2 people, raised their eyebrows when Shamar Joseph was included, as you just said, with his limited T20 international experience. What do you think of the West Indies squad? Is there anybody that's not in the squad that you thought, maybe should have been there?
No, it's a strong team. I keep saying that core, that nucleus has been retained, but I think 2 guys that I probably would have had, that again, you can only pick 15, but I think about someone like a Kyle Mayers, who's opened the batting for the West Indies for a while. But what I love is the bowling option. And then Obed McCoy, given that he's a left-arm seamer, a bit of variance. But again, they went for Shamar Joseph, X-factor, bowls above 150 kilometers per hour. And it's a rare in cricket to find someone that does that. And of course, the experience of Shimron Hetmeyer. So I think West Indian fans, this is a great time to be a West Indian fan. Just given the team, given what they've achieved, beating England, beating India, beating South Africa in previous series. I think they are favourite to win this World Cup, and they need the fans to sort of push them and be that 12th or 13th man.
All right, we all want West Indies to do well. We have won 2 World Cups before, and if we can win on foreign soil, then we must can win in the Caribbean as well. But if not West Indies, who's your team that you will say, In other words, who do you think West Indies may get in the final if all things go right?
2 teams. I'll say South Africa. This team that's here, they have a few guys who are in the IPL, not here, but they are such a strong team when it comes to their batting component. the power that they have in the middle, Heinrich Klaas and Tristan Stubbs, and Australia. I think tournament team, always there in the final. They just find a way, and very balanced and very consistent in the look at the last 2 or 3 World Cups. It's been this group of players. So Warner, Cummins, I think, look, it's a tough team to beat, but hopefully the West Indies can be there.
All right, the West Indies won 2 World Cup with their reputation of big 6 hitting. Will they need to just modify that approach if they are to be successful this time around?
Nah, man, bring the entertainment. We want big 6s. Nah, we bring back the 6s. But I think that component is important just because of T20 cricket, but the bowling as well. I think that's been the only real area of weakness if you look at the last 2 years. At the back end of the innings, can they sort of close games out and sort of contain teams in the last 5 overs? That would be critical.
All right, so as you heard, we will play some practice games against the South Africans at Savannah Park tomorrow. Saturday, Sunday, the game starts at 2 o'clock, by the way. CVMTV will have all those games. If you can't go to Savannah Park for whatever reason, you can always watch them on CVMTV. All right, thanks, Nikhil, for dropping in. The people who got me here this early in the morning, you all work wonders. It's not my favorite time of the day, I must add. But anyway, more Sunrise is up after the break.